Welcome to Talking Industrial Automation, a podcast where you get to know the people who make modern industrial automation possible. You will get to hear from CSIA system integrators and industry partners to get a better understanding of how they help their clients solve process challenges and how they've earned success in their careers. Along the way, we will touch on system integration best practices, technology, trends, and challenges. Whether you are a manufacturer, end user, supplier, or system integrator, you will enjoy the insights these industry professionals bring to this podcast. Let's get started. Hi, my name is Lisa Richter, the host of Talking Industrial Automation, a podcast where you get to know the people who make modern industrial automation and processing possible. In today's episode, we're talking industrial automation with Walker Mattox, who self-identifies as a recovering serial entrepreneur who finally found home as the founder of Gray Solutions, a Gray company, in 2018 and hasn't looked back. As founder, he led the exponential growth of Gray Solutions from 2 solutioneers to the 12th largest system integrator as recognized by Control Engineering. Walker's experience consists of leading complex government healthcare IT projects, managing political and issue campaigns, along with leading systems architecture for numerous consumer goods manufacturing projects, including Champion Pet Foods award-winning Dog Star Kitchens. In 2021, he spearheaded the acquisition and subsequent merger that welcomed Stone Technologies to Gray Solutions and put him in the role of Chief Executive Officer. In this position, he focuses on continuing to develop deep relationships with customers to advance the company as a rapidly growing industry leader with special attention toward developing solutioneers and to expand service offerings. Walker, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Lisa, for having me here today.
So I have a quick question down in the script. I'm going to pop quiz you here. How often do people call you Walter instead of Walker? Is that pretty often?
Well, I get Walter number 2, but I mean, I do get the Texas Ranger jokes happen very, very, very frequently, including a customer who nicknamed me the Kentucky Ranger. So
I'm surprised by that because at some point that joke is going to age out, right?
It hasn't happened yet.
Okay, good to know. So let's get into it. Tell me how you describe to lay people what you do.
So I usually start, Lisa, by asking people if they've ever been to a grocery store. And a good variety, a good chunk of people will always say yes. The simplest way I can describe what we do is we help those people that make food and beverage products that go on your grocery store shelves. We help them make those. We either help them do it more efficiently, we help them do it better, we help them do it faster, and we help ensure that those things can get to your shelves. Now, here lately, I've had to be real careful with that comment as people will say, well, wait a minute, are you the reason we don't have any toilet paper? But it's really the simplest way to let people know what we do. I think the other interesting thing is we can share with people that are thinking of joining systems integration or the control space. I'll tell fresh college graduates all the time, if you are fascinated with code, you're fascinated with making things work, but you don't want to sit in a cubicle all day, come work with us. You can write code that makes machines move, that makes pet food, that makes K-cups, that makes beer, that makes bourbon. We get people that'll perk up when they hear that as an option for a career path.
Talk a little bit about the Gray Solutions and your path and how you began and how the company's evolved. I mean, we touched on it in your bio, but I'd like to hear that story fleshed out a little.
Gray, for its 60-year history, has been an internationally recognized design builder, very focused on serving the industrial market. And we recognize that in order to add services to better serve those customers, this was a natural progression to have industrial automation as a specific service offering that Gray could provide. So we started the company in 2018 with the intent to provide those services and very, very quickly recognized the demand for those services was very strong. I say we have 2 goals as leaders of the business today. We're supposed to hire smart people and then find really cool problems for them to go solve. And I boil it down to it being that simple. If we pull those 2 things off, everything else takes care of itself. So we've been laser focused on those 2 aspects of the business. In 2021, we were really lucky that Stone Technologies, who's been a longstanding CSIA member, agreed to join us through an acquisition and subsequent merger. And that really marked the next level of evolution in our business. So we doubled the size of the company overnight. And since then, have welcomed another 80 solutioneers to the team and brought them alongside all of us. What we see in the automation industry is a real desire for a multitude of services to be offered with automation. And so when you look at Gray's portfolio of services that we can offer, it's probably the most unique in the industry because we span all the way from engineering. We can procure everything you need. We can manufacture equipment on behalf of our customers. And then we can even turn around and automate, provide digital transformation services all under one umbrella.
Help me understand what led Gray to form Gray Solutions.
Gray recognized at that time that serving the food and beverage market would look very different than how we service our other markets in our traditional design build business, constructing facilities around the globe. What we recognized was that we needed a deliberate focus to expand out and provide additional services to those customers. That could look like process design. It could look like architectural and more detailed engineering services specific for that market. We also saw the trend in the industry say, okay, it's got to be a little more than that and be very deliberate. And so we began a journey that we're still on today to expand our service offerings. We decided that it was important to be different and include digital services. That's everything from automation and controls, your IO that you have down at the plant level, up through SCADA platforms, digital transformation projects with MES, IoT, connections to all kinds of ERP platforms that we engage with today. That also transformed to say that Gray, we were going to also provide equipment. We can manufacture equipment for our food and beverage and pharmaceutical and life sciences customers within the Gray family of companies today. And that journey is continuing its evolution as we're expanding into robotics, advanced automation, advanced material handling solutions, and vision systems as the business continues to grow.
I'm curious to hear, so you had the company in 2018, 2020, the world blew up. And as you mentioned, there are a lot of products that were highly in demand. So talk to me about how you managed that tidal wave and roller coaster of a time.
Well, you talk about an emotional roller coaster. We were sitting around a virtual meeting and literally we're debating, okay, do we have to shut the business down? And this is March. We're having conversations that a lot of integrators probably were having, a lot of businesses were having. What's going to happen? And the demand that we saw from our customers and the services they needed from us in the automation space completely blew me away. I could have predicted that we would have been slow or we would have been steady. I would have never predicted that we would have grown exponentially in 2020. The same weekly virtual meeting that we were having in March to say, what would it look like if we closed the business, turned into how are we going to execute the largest project we've ever sold? And so it was exciting and it validated, Lisa, our belief that if you hire smart people, they'll do the right thing. We were able to overnight continue our growth, not because of something that I did or something that any key team member did, but we kept empowering the smart people around us to do what they knew to be best.
So tell me a little bit about the challenges your customers are facing right now.
I could stick with just the labor market, but every customer, every industry, every market is seeing the same thing with the labor market today. One of the unique challenges that we're seeing with our customers inside of their product expansion as they need to make more product is the premiumization of their products. So as consumer habits have changed and everybody's evolved into this, we'll say a hybrid world where you have work from home, you're traveling less frequently, maybe for work, we're really starting to see a more accelerated growth of premium products and personalized products across various industries. We were seeing it very heavily in pet food prior to 2020. And I would say as we look at what customers are asking us to solve for, it's to help them figure out the best way to embed that into their production process as they go.
Could you give me an example of what you mean there, Walker, please?
What we're seeing from our customers in a lot of places is they're thinking very differently about how they produce their product. And instead of just thinking about how can I mass produce, let's say cat food, they're thinking instead, okay, what should I do in my planning, in my automation, in my production so that I can provide cat food for Walker Mattox in Lexington, Kentucky, and that can be part of a larger order that then gets processed. They're seeing that happen. And I think it was a trend that the industry was looking for and thought was coming. And COVID-19 in the last 2 years have just really accelerated the demand for those types of products.
Hi, Lisa.
Who's this?
It's Alex Trusovsky. You remember me. I've been a keynote speaker for CSIA several times.
Okay. Sir, I do know you. You are popular with the CSIA crowd.
Hey, I heard you like to play Two Truths and a Lie.
Did Jose put you up to this?
Oh, come on. You can do this. Here we go. I'm going to give you 3 facts. You tell me which one is not true. Number 1, nearly 3/4 of all companies do not have a talent strategy. Number 2, recruiting has evolved into a sales and marketing function for businesses. And finally, number 3, the number of open positions in the US is still below pre-pandemic levels. Which one of those is not true?
I'm going to go with number 3.
You're correct. The number of open positions in the US is actually at record levels. We currently have 11.3 million openings in the United States and only 6.3 million people for work. So it's really representative of how different the job market of today is relative to where we were even right before the pandemic.
Why are you telling me all this, by the way?
Well, I'm telling you this because I'm the closing keynote speaker at this year's CSIA Executive Conference in June. I'm going to talk about building an effective talent strategy, including proven tactics that companies can use to attract, hire, and retain the most valuable asset that they have, which is people.
I bet it'll be standing room only. That topic is so hot right now. Where can people go for more information on your presentation as well as the executive conference?
All the details are available at www.controlsys.org/conference 2022.
Wait, are you going to be lying to the conference attendees as well?
Well, I'm going to hang up now.
Okay, bye, Alex.
Bye, Lisa.
What's unique about how you approach a project?
I tell new solutioneers in their orientation that if they signed up to come work for a company, an engineering firm where they're going to receive a spec book and be asked to go build the thing in the spec book, they should probably go home. What we do is desired around an outcome-focused approach to all of our projects. So when we begin a project, we want to understand what is the outcome we're actually trying to get to towards the end of the day. And if we're spending calories on something that doesn't get us towards that outcome, we should stop doing it. We need to focus on what do our customers need? What are the outcomes that they're trying to get to? One of our favorite projects was very challenging. We had a situation where the customer, they needed 10,000 hogs a day through their facility, and they did not really care how they got it done. They wanted to make sure that they could process that. And one of my both favorite moments and scariest moments, we were working on a system that wasn't quite online yet. We were rapidly trying to get it there. And the operations lead looked at me over a conference room table and said, the pigs are coming. You either get ready for them, but they're going to be here tomorrow. So figure it out. And we work collaboratively with that customer with the outcome in mind, that our job wasn't to make the automation work. Our job wasn't to write brilliant code or even process a sophisticated interface with an ERP system. The pigs were coming. And that was all we had to deal with.
I'm sure that's been embedded in the public lore now. I'm sure there's quite a few discussions where you're referencing the pigs are coming, the pigs are coming. What would you say is the smartest decision your company has made recently?
Investing in solutioneers. It's the easiest answer that I can give. We're in a services business, and the most important thing we have are our people that help our customers. And so we spend a lot of time investing in them and thinking about ways to invest in them. And I say that's a decision we've made recently. As long as I'm still here, we're going to keep making that same decision and making that our priority.
When you say investing in your team members, can you give me some examples of that?
I think one of the best examples that we have of that is our Work From Anywhere program. We not only allow for work from home, work from anywhere. I think just as much work can get done at a beach as it can sitting in my home office. It depends on what the right environment is for you and where you engage. The idea of work in an office is dead. And as part of that program, we offer every new solutioneer a $500 stipend for their Work From Anywhere setup. We offer an ongoing monthly stipend to help cover Work From Anywhere expenses. And a new addition to that is we also offer a refresh. Every 5 years you're with the company, you get a refresh stipend to refresh your chair, your desk, whatever's part of that. We also do the little things. We provide technology for people to set up their home office, and we even provide an allowance for headsets. In today's world, just having the earphones that come with your iPhone or your Android, they don't cut it anymore. And so we offer a stipend for people to also get a more premium headset.
Professional development. I assume you're big into that as well?
Yes. We offer both internal training that can be provided from our subject matter experts that we offer to our team members. And then we also think that that's best crowdsourced, if you want to call it. We want the solutioneers to tell us what training they would like, what development they would like to see. The other thing that comes into that, I think, Lisa, when people say professional development, we instantly go to training on a new coding base or training on a new robotics system or some kind of tactical, technical training. We also are investing in leadership training, professional development, and communication training, helping our engineers not only learn new ways to solve problems, but investing in new ways they can communicate how to solve those problems, ways they can engage their leadership skills. We think that our projects are most successful when the project team members own those and lead them. We define leadership inside of Gray Solutions as the act of making good things happen. Management is preventing bad things from happening. And we really want to strive with our team members that they can focus on leading things forward.
So how has Gray Solutions grown or changed in the past year? And what do you expect for the company in the next 12 to 24 months?
Well, in the last year, we grew from 70 to 250 people today. We've gone from a single hub to 4 hubs around the country and really adopted a lot. So what has changed? I think we didn't change our name. That's probably about it. Part of this is just we're responding to the market and the demand for our services. The market is responding to the way we're delivering our services as well. And we want to keep up with that. We think it's very important that we maintain the right pace to support the industry and support our team members, because when we give them challenges to solve, they're happier. And over the next 12 to 24 months, we expect that to continue. We invested this year in our innovation center, which is a location here in Lexington, Kentucky, with our robotics lab for advanced automated material handling, creative robotic solutions, many other things that are part of what we see is going to come in the next 5 years. So we're really focused in the next 12 to 24 months to ensure that our business is ready to support the growing market for the next 7 to 10 years out.
So I have to imagine that going from, what'd you say, 70 to 200 employees, scaling up that quickly and that much had to have given you some life lessons. I guess what tips would you give somebody else who is trying to undergo this massive growth like that? Like, what tidbits can you share with that?
The first thing I would say is listen. Listen to the people around you, take the information in, and then once you've listened, have a strong bias for action. What people are going to look for when you're in the middle of any kind of change, especially a large change like that, they're going to ask 2 questions. Am I being heard? Do I matter? And then number 2, they're going to look to the actions that you take as backup for the words that you use. And so recognizing those 2 things in conjunction will allow you to be successful.
What advice would you give to a prospective customer researching controls engineers or system integrators?
When you think about hunting for controls engineers or a new systems integrator or expanding your current system integrator base, I think the most important thing to focus on right now is the relationship. Can you form a relationship with that company? Some people may say price, they may say technical prowess, they may say all these things. In today's market, technology is evolving very rapidly. We're seeing industry stalwarts start to pull back and pull away and not be the leading edge anymore. We're seeing new technologies emerge every day. And at the rate of innovation in other markets, that's going to continue. So what matters then when you need a new integrator? Can you build a relationship with somebody that's going to last for many years to come? Because it's the knowledge of how your business works, the knowledge of how you make your products that really matters. You can put an ad in a newspaper for a PLC tech, but investing in that relationship with your integrator and having a partnership is going to make both of you more successful.
How should a customer go about choosing a system integrator then?
They can visit graysolutions.com and fill out the contact us form. Lisa, I think the best way to choose a system integrator is to network. Talk to colleagues that are in your industry or in your area and ask them who they've worked with or who they've heard about. That's our largest referral base, is just from networks and customers that we've worked with before. And that's going to be the best advice you can get. One of the best things you can do then is research your integrator and make sure they're valid. One of the best things about being CSIA certified is it's a great validation that, yes, we are a real company and yes, we can do what you're asking us to do. It's a good program for various other reasons, but getting that network, getting that information, and then going out and doing a little bit of your research is the best way to do that.
What kinds of trends and challenges are you seeing in industrial automation right now?
Well, the biggest challenge that we're all having today is probably on a boat in the Long Beach port right now in California. Everyone's impacted by supply chain. I think the trends that we're starting to see, outside of the challenges of today, the trends we're really seeing is a focus on those outcomes. Customers are buying outcomes. They're not buying individual deliverables very often anymore. We're seeing definitely a trend towards that. We're also seeing a trend towards investment in newer technologies. I think the smartphone camera has completely changed the way industrial automation works. And a lot of people might think of AR or VR or no. If you think about the advancement in camera technology over the last 10 years and how it's impacted vision systems and other elements of technology that we can now solve for our customers, the rate of change is very rapid. I mean, things we couldn't do last year, we can do today. And that's going to continue, if not accelerate, inside of the industrial automation space as companies deal with labor shortages, demand for personalized and premium products, and better insight into the food chain specifically and quality. Consumers are demanding to know where their food comes from. And one of the solutions for that is industrial automation is going to play a part.
With thousands of qualified integrators and suppliers, the CSIA Industrial Automation Exchange is your one-stop spot to identify and connect with a diverse community of integrators and suppliers to help you deliver a low-risk and successful project. Using this powerful platform, you can do customized searches and filter by industry vertical, expertise, location, certifications, and more to source the right partners and products for your needs. For SIs and partners, it provides a platform to support your content and SEO marketing efforts, position yourself as a thought leader, and nurture prospects during their complicated buyer's journey. Why not take a minute to visit www.csiaexchange.com and see for yourself? No swiping left, no swiping right. Just connect directly to quality industry experts. It's really that simple, I promise. What makes you optimistic about the future of the automation control systems industry?
What's the coolest job ever? You get to write software and code that makes machines move, that makes products. I mean, what? It's the coolest thing you get to do. I think the continued investment that we're seeing from our customers, probably one of the things that makes me the most optimistic about the future is we're seeing customers start to make decisions as it relates to their automation and their systems integrator much earlier than they used to. They're asking that question, well before a shovel goes in the ground for a new facility. What is the automation going to look like? How are we going to do this? And so as customers are putting more of an emphasis on how important it is to their business, it's only going to make it more important that we can provide those services. And I think we're also seeing those become partnerships. I mentioned earlier that you should really look for an integrator that you can create a relationship with. As this industry becomes more and more important to our customers, we're starting to see those relationships deepen and make it even more powerful as we go.
Getting back more specifically to Gray Solutions, talk to me a little bit about the culture there and what it means to be a solutioneer.
We've been really lucky to work as part of the Gray family of companies. Gray has been an amazing employer, particularly in the Southeast, for 60 plus years. And so when we started the business in 2018, people saw us as an immediate extension of Gray. And we got a lot of value from that, and we still keep that. A good example is we have an open office environment, even in our hubs. There are very few walls. My messy desk is right in the middle of the floor with everybody else's, even though I think there are people that probably wish it weren't. It's an exciting environment where we really push for that transparency, that openness. And I think the other thing we weave into there is the spirit of entrepreneurship within the business. People can come up with ideas and bring ideas forward and execute on them if they like. Our new robotics division was created because one of our project managers brought an idea forward. He wanted to go start robotics work. And so we've made a small investment, and now it's turned into a large investment and an entire department that's dedicated to our advanced automation team. I think for solutioneers, you should probably ask them what it means more so than me. I think they would tell you that entrepreneurial spirit, the ability to be part of a nimble team, but with the support of a company like Gray, is very unique and valuable. So we're an independent operating company within Gray, but we have all the benefit and support of being part of that larger organization.
You mentioned earlier that you merged with Stone Technologies. Talk to me a little bit about how you've merged the culture, how you've nurtured the culture, the change. Integrating any two companies is going to reveal some differences. And just talk to me a little bit about how that happened and, the story.
Well, it's a lot of work. If anybody out listening today thinks that they're going to acquire a company or merge with somebody else and it's going to be easy because you do the same thing, it's not how it works. It's a lot of effort. But what I can tell you coming out on the backside, it's well worth it. We focused very early on the people. We wanted to make sure that team members from both companies, not just the Stone team, felt valued and understood why they were doing it. I think that's something that companies that are making acquisitions overlook, Lisa, is they think that their employees are going to be okay with it. No, we had to reassure solutioneers that you all are valuable too. We're not buying a new company and merging with them to replace you. This is about a better future for all of us. And we beat that message home. We still talk about it every day. And it's a very important message because we believe it. We think that our future is stronger together. And so far, that's all we've seen. One of the things that we did very early on, too, was align on our Work From Anywhere program. Stone, since their founding in 1996, has been a remote workforce. Don and Eric started the business working out of their homes and only begrudgingly rented an office when they finally realized they had to have somewhere for control panels to be shipped and FATs to happen. And so we saw that early on. And since we were in the middle of the pandemic in 2021, we had a decision to make. Gray has always been traditionally a very location-based culture, either around our offices or around our job sites. And we had to decide, okay, what do we do with this? And so we decided at that moment to fully adopt the Work From Anywhere environment. And instead of trying to cash it as a way that we were going to save money and reduce rent, we doubled down. We've leased more office space since we went Work From Anywhere than we had previously. We've renovated those offices, those hubs now that we call them, to ensure that they're updated with modern video conferencing tools, welcoming furniture, inviting places for customers and team members alike to come in and work together, because we know that that's what people are looking for when they're looking for a place to go. Good technology, ease of collaboration, good locations, and continuing that investment, I think, is going to be key for our future.
I have to say, I really like that you are helping your employees get their home work environment top notch. I think that's unique and so essential for the health and well-being of an employee. I mean, I hate the idea of some poor little schmuck punched over a little tiny laptop in a dank basement somewhere, trying to sip off some of the Wi-Fi. So I appreciate that a lot. So switching gears a little bit, we're talking about now the benefits of CSIA membership. Explain to me what you see as the biggest benefit for your company to be members of CSIA.
Lisa, I'm going to be very honest in answering this question. If you'd asked me this a year ago or 2 years ago, I probably would have said the little stamp that says certified and that it's a good, strong validator. What I've seen through Stone's long exposure to the CSIA environment and community, I think is a better word for it. There are a lot of people that are very willing to share information, to talk to others, and to share ideas on how we work. It's rare when you look across other industries to find a professional association where members are willing to share information this freely. And so I think if you're on the fence, if you're a new company and you're thinking about, should I become a CSIA member? Should I go through the process? I'm not going to lie, the certification is a very good tool. It's very powerful. It helps you look at your business, and it's a great way to show the outside world that you're real. But don't underestimate the benefit that you get from networking and the people that you'll meet and how they can help you grow your business.
Appreciate that, Margaret. It's been my experience as well. I've worked with a lot of different associations and a lot of different industries, and I have never come across one like this one. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I do want to make the distinction that you can become a member of CSA and not get certified. That's just taking it to the next level. That's just making sure that a third party has audited your business practices and they align with the best practices. So it's kind of two different tracks. Some people just want to show up for the best practices and some want to take it to the next step and get certified. Speaking of this, when someone asks, why should I hire a CSIA certified company? What would you tell them?
It's a great way to benchmark systems integrators all around the globe against their competitors. So if you're looking for someone to help you out with your problem, finding a CSIA certified integrator, I would say is a non-negotiable at this point, Lisa. Those are going to be people who are going to follow consistent best practices, who are going to be an excellent team member. They're going to have been audited. And as Lisa just said, it's what you're going to be exposed to. The other thing you're getting is somebody who's invested enough time and energy and calories into CSIA to be a good team member. So if they're certified, I'm willing to bet that they're also a key part of that community, and they're going to provide better value for you because of that.
Switching gears yet again, the final question: what's the best advice you could give your younger self just getting started?
I think the first piece of advice is advice I'll give myself for the rest of my life, which is listen. Jim Gray tells us that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, to listen twice as much as we talk. The other thing that I would say that I've really learned has been extremely valuable over the last couple of years is recognize that find smart people, hire people smarter than you, hire people that are better at what they do than you are, and let them go do it. It's been a transformational journey for me to go in 2-3 years from a project manager leading a project to this role today. And it wouldn't be possible without a bunch of really smart people actually making it happen.
Well, that's it for today's episode of Talking Industrial Automation. If you're interested in learning more about Walker, Mattox, or Gray Solutions, you can find them on the CSIA Industrial Automation Exchange at www.csiaexchange.com. Thanks for listening, and thank you, Walker, for joining me today.
My pleasure, Lisa. Thanks for having me.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also help others find us by leaving a 5-star review and sharing your favorite episodes with colleagues. Thanks for listening to the Talking Industrial Automation podcast. Thanks also to bensound.com and Wistia for the music bumpers. Until next time.